So good evening. We are back again, and it wasn't a good evening up at Villa Park, that's for sure. We lost the game, and VAR is now apparently the issue again, and no accountability for any of our players. 29 has won Arsenal's Player of the Month. That's been announced today, and yeah, we're going to dissect that game with a fine tooth comb. And Jez, happy Monday. How are you, mate?
All good, man. All good. Yeah. Quite interesting as a topic I'm going to bring up, that it's not just VAR that, cost us. It's also the fact that apparently you are a better team and you've won the game if you have more possession and domination, which we'll get into that one. Because, I talked about it last night and I roasted a few people on that one, but we'll bring that one up because apparently it's not about scoring goals now. It's about having more possession.
Wow.
Really? Well, there you go. Interesting.
Who knew? Smash these likes up as well. There's 250 in here already. So make sure you smash these likes up. Sub to Jez's channel, Arsenal History and More. Kenny Ken 1972 on Insta. I'll have them links pinned in a minute. But Kenny, how are you, mate? How's your Monday going?
Monday's going really fun. I just want to say to, obviously, Kieran, is this professional enough for you, son? Thank you. I hope you're satisfied. Now you can watch the show and keep your gob shut. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Thank God. You know, like I said, the football happened this weekend. We saw some good matches because there's been some bit of an issue with an ex-footballer saying something about the state of punditry in this country and who's doing the punditry. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of ex-professionals haven't come to shout him down, to refute his opinions. A bit strange, isn't it? Maybe he has a kindred spirit. Maybe, just maybe, a few football fans feel the same, because I suppose the same sort of thing happens in the podcasting world. Anyway, let's not talk about an ex-player who I don't want to name. It's about Arsenal, Aston Villa, and yes, all the stuff we're talking about. Havertz is player of the month. VAR, was it a penalty? Was it offside? Should this guy have been sent off? All relevant. We're taking our chances. All relevant.
Yeah, spot on. Listen, thank you to everyone watching. Like I said, make sure you're smashing these likes up, people. I'll get the links for the guys up in a second in the pinned comments. But yeah, Jez, we had a massive opportunity at the weekend to, number one, go back to the top of the league after we'd see Liverpool get a 91st minute winner from Harvey Elliott. That would have put us back top if we had won against Villa. Not only that, it would have put us 9 points clear of Man City, and then they had the game in hand the next day. And it would have put Villa 7 points behind us. We could have kind of killed them off and put the pressure really back on Man City and a little sucker punch back onto Liverpool. And instead, that first half was one of the worst first halves I've ever seen, mate. Yeah, absolutely bullied in that first half. Yeah, it didn't look like any of them were up for it, apart from 29. We conceded a goal. Everyone's blaming Zinchenko. And yes, he is partly to blame. But if we're going to do this blame game from a player that's in phase one of the play, phase one of the play, well, we have to go and have a look at the centre-backs. Where were they? We then have to go and have a look at Benjamin White. What was he doing? And then maybe have a look at the keeper as well. But it's fashionable at the moment to just pick on 35, Zinchenko, isn't it? It's fashionable to pick on him and pick on the keeper. Benny Blanco gets eradicated from all of the blame for not even bothering to know where his man is. And in fact, where are our centre-backs? Second half was a little bit better. They sat back. And like you said about possession stats and shots on goal and all that, yeah, that's all great. But when our captain has 3 touches before taking a shot in a penalty box, where you're in a league where you're closed down just like that, I don't think that's acceptable. And then when 29 sticks one on a plate, you have to grab that. You have to score that. And I think if we did score one of them, we'd probably go on and win the game. But what do you make of it overall, Jez?
I mean, let's be honest, Lee. Let's forget all the narratives that people have come out with, this, that, and the other. We just aren't good enough. It's simple. It's that. We have been running our luck for way too long. We called it, you, Kenny, I, Matty, we called it after the game away at Luton. We got lucky, and we have been lucky, and it's about time it ran out. It was always going to run out. At the end of the day, we never could sustain that. You don't win leagues on luck. You have to have a little bit more behind you. And I'm sorry, it was an absolute rubbish first half. And this thing about, oh, well, we had this possession, we had that possession. That doesn't win you football matches. Goals in the back of the net win you football matches. I'm fed up with the excuses from these people that come out. Look at the real story. We haven't got a good enough team. Villa were the better team. They may not have outplayed us in the way that they had more possession than us, but they scored a goal. Goals win you football, right? Not how much this player plays. This tackle. This guy did this many tackles. This stat, that stat. Forget it. Look at the real picture, and I'm fed up with it. Our manager is not good enough, right? Unai Emery outclassed him again. Yeah. Oh, but last year, we beat him twice last year. Blah blah. Crap, rubbish statements. The fact is, we're not good enough. We haven't got a good enough midfield. We lost, people, statisticians out there, 71.5% of possession in the middle third. 71% in the middle third. What does that tell you about our midfield? They're crap.
But Aston Villa had 71% of the ball in our midfield. Like against our midfield, is that what...
We lost 71%.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That is not. That's from Opta. That is not some bullshit place. That's Opta. I looked at.
Wow. Well, that's a stat that nobody will tell you, isn't it, Jez? Because none of these top gooners want to peddle that stat out. I've not heard that.
Well, I looked it up because after I did your fan cam the other night, after the Villa game, I had a lot of call outs from people. Jez, you don't know football. You know what you're talking about. We were the better team. We had more possession. We dominated. Well, go look at the facts, people. 71.5% we lost in midfield to Villa. That is not a good statistic. And to get to the point, yes, you are quite correct. Havertz was the only player, in my opinion, in that first half that was actually trying. Hence why I gave him man of the match. Because nobody else is doing anything. Our centre-backs were bloody rubbish. Ben White stood there when McGinn spun on the ball and scored. He just stood there. Didn't even have a challenge. At least take one for the team, mate, because at the end of the day, that's what you're there for. It was a shocking display. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Fine, I don't care. Jez, you're too old to be on YouTube now because you don't know what you're talking about. Lovely. Exactly. Well, I've been to a lot of games. I've seen a lot of football. And I think I do know what I'm talking about because that was a rubbish display. We've got a rubbish manager and our team just does not have the capability of getting it over the line again.
Mate, listen, I'll make you right. Yeah, but listen, I know, Kenny, you said that how did we lose the game? Yeah, and it is a case of how did we lose that game? Because we did have good chances to score goals. Yeah, and it's like, no, I know people miss chances. Football, it's a game of luck at times, but it's also a game of sustainability. And we've been winging it for a long time, mate. I see something that Sport Bible posted, a mate of mine sent it to me earlier. After we beat Luton 4-3 the other day, there was renditions going around our dressing room, the away dressing room at Luton, of Rice, Baby. They were singing it to Declan Rice in the away dressing room after scamming a 4-3 against Luton. Like, come on. Yeah, this is where we're at. These players are way too cocky at times. Yeah, they're way too overrated. They're definitely overpaid. Yeah, and as soon as the pressure comes on a little bit, we fold. We had a chance to go top, Kenny. Did it look like they wanted to go top?
No, I think the situation is, first and foremost, you got to look at the goal. In hindsight, no, not hindsight. In real time, because we're Arsenal fans, we're looking at the mistakes. I was picking out the mistakes of, Zinchenko going walkies. But then again, in the first 6 minutes, that's his job to go walkies because we're meant to be on the front foot. And then I'm having a go at White. I'm having a go at Gabriel for not protecting Zinchenko in that position, and Saliba being nowhere. But in footballing terms, that's a fantastic goal. The way Villa, started the ball from their own half and just split us open. So I suppose in footballing terms, that's great. But from in our point of view, it was a silly goal to give away, because we know that's how teams play. Teams don't play long ball; they pass the ball out. So you've got to watch your man, especially in the first few minutes, because we probably expected Villa to come at us early to try and win the game, early, because in the last sort of championship rounds, they wouldn't have anything left because of the Villa game, because of the City game, and we were proved right. I said last week that there's no way Villa are going to be able to replicate the emotion, the physical, endeavour against Man City that they were able to do. I say there was opportunities for us to win the game, and we had some clear-cut chances. That's regardless of all the controversies. We had really, really clear-cut chances. Odegaard was wasteful. Saka was wasteful. Martinelli should have had another chance. Havertz went close. So in that respect, I understand exactly what Jez said, because what Jez said was exactly right. Let's get it right. Villa weren't at their best. Villa were basically giving us yards because they knew if they went up us, like I said, toe to toe, physically they'll have nothing left, and we're always good in the last sort of 20 minutes. So Jez is right. In that middle of the park, they were making a lot of tackles, but also because of their fatigue, and because Watkins was isolated, they were making mistakes as well at the back. Martinez was a bag of nerves, in terms they were giving the ball away. So, for us not to replicate, replenish that and try and take control of the game is criminal. Criminal. The amount of pace we had on both sides, Saka and Martinelli. The fact that they couldn't do anything. Saka probably comes out of it probably better than Martinelli, because Saka's a better player, because Saka would try and get that pass. Martinelli, I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He looks like a Colts player. He looks like the sort of kid that he's playing amongst men, and he just looks out of ideas. But his pace was scaring Villa. That's why I was at the up with Arteta for taking off Martinelli and bringing on Trossard, because you slag off Martinelli and you think Trossard is gonna, like I said, be that man with the je ne sais quoi. He was hopeless. He was hopeless. We're talking about
going to do that sub. He's got to do it earlier, and this is what wound me up, lads. Here, big up to everybody in it. Let me read the super. And I'm going to say real quick. Big up Matty for the donation, bro. Make sure you sub to Southern Gooner. This weekend exposed how unprepared we are. The same problems are still lingering from last season. The manager came out again and hid behind VAR when it was convenient for him. Yeah, we got punched in the mouth again. Facts. What I was going to say as well, yeah. Right? Is it any coincidence, right, that Unai Emery had a day less rest after playing Man City, right, and made 4 subs before we made ours? Yeah, and that's what got him through that game.
Yeah, but he used his brain, though. He used his experience. He used the fact that he knew that those same players can never physically produce what they produce against Man City. He used his brains, and he used his substitutions pretty well. In fact, you think about it, it was like intervals during the game where the first half was in forced injury because Bailey went off, so he had to bring on Diaby. Then he had 4 subs left, and he just every quarter of the game. So, for instance, the first half of the second half, that's when he started making his substitutions, and then with about when he knew Konsa was on a yellow card, he brings on Matty Cash, again, a fresh player. So he was prepared for the fact that we were going to dominate, possession. And he was very cute at that. And that's how he outwitted Arteta. But Arteta helped him, though, in the last 20 when he took off the pace. Because how we were hurting Villa was pace on each side. Either we were going to create something or we're going to create a situation where they're going to give fouls. But you've got Trossard who's going to look up, cut in, cut out. Moves were breaking down with Leonardo. And that helped Emery. So Emery was given like an open goal by Arteta. But the situation is, regardless when you talk about the open goal, the fact is that we've got to go back to the situations. If you've got a team that is putting men behind the ball and is basically saying, here you go, try and break us down, you need more from your midfield. It's easy to slag off Odegaard from not converting those chances, and it's easy to praise Havertz because he was a better player. But Declan, from a position where we're dominating possession, we need more from Declan. We didn't really need his recoveries. I'm not going to be shouted down because Declan Rice is the, Rice baby. Rightly so. He's cost a lot of money. He's an England international now. Was Irish before. I know I was get that one in. I call him Declan. But all I'm saying now is that from that point of view, we probably needed a bit more. Because when teams got men behind the ball, you need more than one midfield to gamble. And we could have gambled if Declan could have made those runs. I know he's probably afraid of the long ball over the top, but that's the defender's job. We were a goal behind from the 6th minute. We were there to take risks. So I think that's where we went wrong. Then we're going to talk about all the other controversies, but let's not forget, we can't leave this podcast without talking about Odegaard's example of cowardice. That's cowardice.
But this is the thing, before you carry on. Big up to Rants for the redirect as well. Yeah, big up Rants, man. Big up everyone who's come over from Rants' stream as well. People appreciate it. But yeah, I wanted to say as well very quickly, right? Somebody said Reece Nelson gets paid $100,000 a week to play 4 minutes. Yeah, he don't trust his bench at all. Right?
Yeah,
and yes, we have got injuries, right? But my point is, when he's looking at that bench, and listen, let's not pretend that he weren't running that team at the weekend. Yeah, Edward Albert was the face on the bench. Yeah, but he had Carlos Cuesta sat next to him with the earpiece into that bench, and he was dictating everything. Yeah, because the camera panned in on him. He was whispering away to this Carlos Cuesta. Next thing, Eddie comes on. We're bringing Eddie and Nketiah and Reece Nelson and Trossard on. Right, if you're going to bring Trossard on, you bring him on earlier. Yeah, and give him a bit of time to get into the game. And if you are going to bring him on, you probably put him up front. Yeah, rather than maybe on the left. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. He did that. Cool. I ain't too disappointed that he brought Trossard on because I wanted Trossard on. Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, when you're looking at it, yeah, you're right what you said, Kenny, about he used his brain, Emery, and he knew that he had a game a day later than us against Man City. They got a win in that. Yes, they had an injured player at half time. He had to make that sub. Conser was knackered. He had to take him off and he was booked. Right. Whereas we're doing it and we're going, right, how do we get a clinical striker on the pitch? Oh, we ain't got one. How do we get somebody that can take a man on? Oh, we're bringing Reece on. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but that's the situation. It's clear as night as day why these guys got their contracts. There's no way they'll get Eddie and Reece were given their contracts for footballing reasons. It stinks high heaven. I think it's to keep the English quota. It has to be. It has to be because there's no reason why you can. All right, you can argue a few football reasons for Eddie because you have given him extended run. He scored a hat-trick this season. But in terms of Reece Nelson, I can't think of any contribution he's made apart from the League Cup game against Brentford. But going back to what we situation, a lot of people swerved the situation with Matty Cash. When Matty Cash, went on that run and Odegaard didn't fancy it. Now, don't get me wrong, we're all human, but when you catch Arsenal, you've got to be superhuman. We know that you've got Matty Cash gave you a good kicking, on your ankle, but to bottle it like that, it's unforgivable. And we're a goal down as well. Can't be doing that if you're Arsenal captain. Didn't go unnoticed by me. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't notice it because you had a good couple of seasons, you're captain, you're loved. They didn't notice it. But on this podcast, we're not suppressed. That's out of order. And don't do that again, Martin. Don't take the piss like that. Don't be scared.
The problem we have in the fan base, though, is the players that have got 15 goals last season, the Bukayo Sakas that have got GA this season, they're the ones that are always immune from criticism. Yeah, they should be the ones that are getting the most criticism because they're the ones that we expect to turn up. Yeah, but they always get a free pass because but look at his goal. Oh, he's the one carrying the team. Oh, he's this and he's better. They should be the ones that because they're the better players. They're the ones that should be creating and scoring goals, right? And actually winning us matches in tough games like Aston Villa away. They should be the ones that actually get a bit more criticism, than the ones that we don't expect it from the Zinchenko, the 29 and stuff like that. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
It is easily. From a psychological point of view, people don't want to be accused of being fickle. Because if you talk about star players, we had loads of star players. We can go all the way back to like Charlie Nicholas, who was a star player. And you go, and then we're talking about 40 years ago when he joined us in '83, and you fast forward to the present day. The star player, it's very hard to criticise because when he, you know, like I says, has a good game, and sometimes it's more good games than good. You get accused of being fickle. Oh, you're slagging off a week ago. But with other players, Benjamin White, you can get away with that because you're never going to be accused of being fickle if you slag off Benjamin White. You're never going to be accused of being fickle to a certain extent if you slag off Zinchenko and Havertz because they haven't got this sort of anointed status. But with players like Declan, Odegaard, Saka, to a certain extent, those three especially, they got godlike status. Aaron Ramsey's only got godlike status because it was a case of he's probably like a storyline from the New Testament, so, you know, a storyline out of Jesus of Nazareth all of a sudden. That's the reason why he's got star status. But all the rest of them, you know, that's the thing. And that's the thing. Fans do not want to be accused of being called fickle. The same with Arsene Wenger. You know, before we also light about his utility towards this great club, you were shouted down if you slagged Wenger off because you didn't want to be accused of being fickle because his record was, at the time, was very good, exemplary. But that's football fans. Star players are never allowed to be slagged off, and people get scared of slagging them off because no one likes to be called a fickle supporter. That's probably the worst insult you can give to a football fan, other than calling them a Spurs fan. It's fickle.
The thing is, though, Kenny, as well. When I rewatched that game, right, and the amount of time I saw Jesus and Saka on their bums on the pitch, they just fall over all the time.
Yeah,
you know, Jesus is there. You know, he's looking for the easy free kick every single time, and I'm fed up with the guy. Yeah. Seriously, the guy.
We needed a goal, and Eddie Nketiah's rolling around on his arse.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sorry, these guys have got to man up because I'm fed up with seeing these fake plastic little players that actually can't stand up and actually do one for the team. They're just there looking for the free kick every single time. No, get up and play the game because I'm fed up with seeing you. And I'll be honest with you, when we bought Jesus, I was happy. I was like, yeah, brilliant. Not anymore. I'm fed up with the guy. He spends more time on his arse than he has actually on his 2 feet. I'm fed up with the guy. Seriously. We need a proper striker. Will we get one in January? I seriously doubt it. And it'll be another season. Goodbye, Arsenal. You know, well tried. You know, you tried well. You won nothing again. And I get the criticism. Fine. I don't care because I actually want our club to actually achieve and win stuff like we should be. Not sitting there saying, oh, well, we'll go next year. Fed up with it, man. Seriously.
Yeah, so this is the thing, lads. Big ups to everyone in here. Smash these likes up, man. Come on, we ain't even on 200. There's 700 people in it. All right, get these likes up. The pinned comment is Jez's channel link, Arsenal History and More, and Kenny Ken's Insta link. So make sure you follow both of the guys as well. But this is the thing, right? When I watch press conferences of other clubs around Europe, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, clubs like that, clubs that have standards, clubs that demand success. And the reason they demand success is because their fans demand it. And the club have to uphold the standards that have already been set. Right? There's a reason these are on my green screen. Yeah, I'm not saying you can go invincible every season, and they didn't. Not every season, did they? But the standards were set under this lot. Yeah, and we've allowed our standards to drop because there's too many happy clappers within our fan base that have allowed them standards to go on the floor because a lot of them jumped on board because of Thierry Henry, because of Arsene Wenger, and then they've just sat there and lowered the standards. We kept that man in charge of our club way too long based off a sentiment, right? Then the next man who came in, they gave no chance to whatsoever. They wanted him out. And the man that we now have as manager, the only reason they are backing him to the high heavens is because he was Arteta's captain when we ended our 9-year trophy drought. That is the only reason they are backing him. Yeah, I don't care what anyone else says to me. The fact and reality is, when I listen to Bayern Munich fans at the weekend on a podcast, I think I put the pod in the chat, in the group chat. They're going mad. And we're not just talking about German fans of Bayern Munich. Yeah. The guy is American. And he's saying, he was calling Harry Kane out in that podcast, saying he was statuesque. He's got 22 goals this year. Standards.
Well, yeah, so they should, Lee. Let's not forget, Hassan got sacked during the trophy celebrations. Nagelsmann got sacked because Dortmund had the temerity to actually challenge Bayern for the title. And that's the thing. Loads of managers have been sacked. They weren't. Guardiola left before he sacked was around the corner because he couldn't win the Champions League, and because a lot of players weren't in tune with his style of play. That's just facts. It's not because he's probably one of the greatest records in football. But at Bayern Munich, it was mixed. He did fall out of players, and he didn't deliver the holy grail for Bayern Munich. Remember, they got rid of what's his name? Was it Heinkes? Heinkes won everything.
Yeah,
and they said he was too old, but he won every domestic trophy plus the European Cup.
Didn't Hansi Flick go after winning 6, or did he leave?
Well, yeah, he remember Guardiola winning 6.
Hansi Flick left because he'd done the 6. He'd done 6. Hansi Flick, he won all 6.
Yeah, that's it.
He knew he can't do that again, so he left. He was smart.
No. Heinkes was sacked. Heinkes was sacked.
I mean Hansi Flick at Bayern.
Hansi
he left
Flick,
after winning. Yeah, he left after winning everything. I can't compete again with that. I'm gone.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, but Heinkes was sacked because of his age, because they wanted to get a younger man in with.
Hey, look at Real Madrid, right? We're old enough to know when Capello was there in '96, yeah, right? He was manager of Real Madrid in '96. He won them the league. They sacked him the very next day. Yeah, didn't like the style of play, mate. Is sacked. A whole decade later, in 2006, when Beckham was there, right? He wins them the league again. Yeah, the next day, sacked.
Yeah.
Didn't like his style of football, mate.
Look what Del Bosque won for Real Madrid. He won European Cups for them, but they got rid of him because
they sacked him the next day. Yeah, they sacked him a day after winning the league. Yeah, but this is the thing: the standards are not on the floor at these football clubs. Yeah, and when I listen to Real Madrid fans, and I see Real Madrid fans Twitter accounts when Madrid post out off their official Twitter account, not just the Spanish ones, but everybody is on the same page. And if there's one person that goes in the Bayern Munich comments, they're giving it all it's a process. They are absolutely crucified. Same with Madrid fans saying it. Whereas us, we're seen as the negative, toxic ones for trying to keep the standards up. Yeah, because this club, has allowed the standards to drop so far that finishing second and bottling a title is seen as success.
You think it's an English mentality? You don't offend anyone, because majority of our fans are from the UK. But I think the mentality is that in England we don't have an Australian and American mentality, where in Australia, first is nowhere. First is everything. Second is nowhere. You look at Australia; they've got a small population, but you look at the disciplines that they're involved in, and they're world champions. And they used to be world champions in nearly everything back in the day, and even in the sport that they claim as their national sport, they're world champions. They don't accept second best. They don't accept transitions. The Americans, you know what the American society is, but in England, our mentality is we have to be modest. We're not allowed to be arrogant. We're not allowed to be confident, and we're not allowed to celebrate our wealth, our success, and we're certainly not allowed to celebrate being first. So what happens is that we've got this mentality, and I'm sure they had it with Liverpool fans when Liverpool lost their years of domination, and Man United are suffering now, and us. Oh, what are you worried about, man? You guys are spoiled. That's one thing that I hate about.
That's what I see that all the time.
You're spoiled by success.
Man City fans were booing their players off the pitch, some of them, when they lost to us at the Emirates. Man City fans also booed their players the other week as well. I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the Tottenham game. A section of the City fans booed them, yeah? I see somebody post out saying, how spoiled is this fan base? No.
English, it's a British mentality.
Mate. The standards last season was set, yeah? You don't drop below them standards. And losing to Arsenal and drawing with Tottenham is not the standards of Man City. Right? Real Madrid players have notoriously come out. Ronaldo said he loved being booed because it knew he weren't playing well. Yeah, he got booed. 80,000 fans in the stadium booed him, his own fans, at half time. He came out in the second half and went bollocks and scored 4. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality.
I think you're right, Lee. and Kenny, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think the problem is there is this sort of attitude in England, in Great Britain, that it's okay not to win. It's we have to be nice, and this is the case in point, right? My son, as you know, lives in New Zealand, yeah, right. He told me, he wasn't there, but he told me when the All Blacks came back from the Rugby World Cup at Auckland Airport, yeah, there's over 2,000 New Zealand fans booing them. They weren't saying, "Well done, boys, you gave it a good shout." But no, you lost to South Africa and you were crap. Because
and now look at the difference when we lost the Euros final to Italy. Yeah. Look at oh, well done, lads.
Yeah,
oh, the fucking losers.
Yeah, you give it a go, but we go again next time. And I think this, unfortunately, it's not just in football, it's in most sports in the UK. Cricket, I don't follow cricket, but I know a lot of people that do. You know, it's okay to fail. Rugby, England in the Rugby World Cup were crap, right? So at the end of the day, it's okay to fail. That is unfortunately the British way of thinking nowadays. Don't worry, you gave us a good chance, everyone. Oh, well done. Next time we'll do better. Oh, well, we didn't do better next time, but no, don't worry about it. Oh, Arsenal Football Club, one of the best, biggest, well, without a doubt, probably the third, fourth biggest club in English football, right? Oh, well, don't worry, boys. Next season we'll go again. It's okay. Go and pat the dog, though. He's all right. He's a nice family little boy. You know, he'll come up and give you a lick and be happy and everything. I mean, come on, man. Show some bollocks, for Christ's sake. I'm fed up with this bloody woke mentality all the time. You know, I used to watch a football club week in, week out that would win things. And if they didn't win things, right? Yeah, they were absolutely. I mean, I can remember many a time booing Arsenal off the park. They were shit in the 70s when we had Terry Neal as manager, right? I mean, he wasn't. He was a poor manager. He won an FA Cup, fair enough, but he was poor.
He was. See, that's the thing. I started off with Terry Neal, Jess.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he was a poor manager. Let's get it right. You know, all right, we got the 3 consecutive FA Cup finals, 1-1. Yeah. Let's not forget what happened when we lost bloody to second division West Ham in the FA Cup final. Yeah. Let's remember that, because that's the first time it ever happened. Shocking.
Do you remember the game against Moscow as well in the UEFA Cup? When we lost 3-2 out there in the return, and they beat us 5-2. And he was buying players like Lee Chapman. But I think that's the thing. You know, the standards have to be high. You know, I don't see any shame in us, you know, demanding that we should be challenged at all ventures. And I think that's the problem. A lot of level-headed fans, I might say, fan base, use words like, you know, like context, you know, patience. It's a process. We're not pork chops. We do know that if, you know, a new manager comes in, you know, as much as we'd like to win everything, we'd like them to actually have a pathway to success. But we don't want it to be like an everlasting process. We want to be in a situation that if you spend money on good players, because we haven't bought, you know, on paper we haven't bought crap players. Declan Rice ain't crap. Havertz had a reputation, you know, as a generational player. So when you have good players, you have to have a situation that has to be something at the end of the time. This season, we have to win a trophy. There's no doubt about it. We've already given West Ham, you know, the last game in the League Cup. Now the FA Cup against Liverpool is paramount. Don't care if it's just the FA Cup. It's big competition. When I was a kid, the FA Cup was the game. I still think the FA Cup is the game.
It is.
It's the occasion. I want to win that. I don't want us to be shadow boxing in the Champions League. I couldn't care less who we get in the last 16. I want to be in a situation going, oh damn, we got Real Madrid. Oh God, I bet we're out now. We've got Bayern Munich. Oh, be a nice, good night out in Munich. You know what I mean? You know, a bit of
first
beer,
season back. It's okay. Let's go again next year.
Strip joints. Yeah, go and watch a few strip joints. Maybe watch a live, you know, like wife swapping. and win or lose on the booze, and then come home. No, I want to win. I want to win. You know what I mean? I think that's got to be the mentality this season of all seasons, because last season we were told it's a young side and that they haven't got, a young side, younger squad in the Premiership. We haven't got the experience. All right, we've got experience now. We bought a seasoned double international, an previous Irish international, and a fully fledged international.
We bought a Champions League winner.
We've got a German international. We've got a team of internationals. We've got Norway's captain. Come on, deliver. Allegedly, City are on basically skidding on banana skins. So if they're skidding on banana skins, let's take advantage. Let's clean up here. Come on, I dare. I dare.
Right.
Win the league.
This comment is absolutely spot on, because I'm not condoning this, by the way, but when Santos got relegated for the first time in their history, I'm not condoning this one bit, by the way. Right? Their fans set fire to all the players' cars. Yeah, and then their presidential election over the weekend, their fans stormed it. Yeah, the first time in 111 years they've been relegated. Yeah, the Benfica manager, by the way, was having a massive barney with the fans at the weekend, because they drew a game, which meant they stayed third in the table, 1 point off of top. And the two teams that are first and second are their two arch enemies, Sporting and Porto. Yeah, and it was all kicking off between them Benfica manager and player. Yeah, accountability is the best ability. We don't win a game. Oh, the PGMOL hate us. Oh, it's VAR. Yeah, mate, I watch enough football of other leagues, to know that it's a problem in other leagues, Right? Barcelona got absolutely robbed a couple of weeks ago. João Felix scored a great goal to win the game against Granada in stoppage time, 3-2. Yeah, Granada went 2-0 up. They made a great comeback, 3-2. It got ruled out for offside. It weren't offside. I watched Girona the other week. They won the game against Valencia last weekend. They had 2 goals ruled out in that game for offside. Neither were offside, but they won the game. Yeah, because they found the way. Yeah, it happens in every league. I see it in the Italian league. Some of the decisions in the Italian league are shocking. So instead of blaming VAR and instead of blaming refs who are bad and crap for everyone, how about do the job that you're paid hundreds and thousands of pounds a week to do? Yeah, because it is the easy excuse ever. Yeah, oh, it was VAR. It was VAR. Yeah, I've seen people on that Superfan channel blaming the weather. Yeah, and people watch this en masse and think that is what it is. Yeah, like I see the other day when you said about one of us said earlier about, oh yeah, but if we get rid of this manager, who can do? I see the other fan channel in the United fan base sitting there having a little meltdown about, oh yeah, give me a viable option of who could do better than Ten Hag. Motherfucker, yeah. Let me tell you right now, it ain't our job as fans to give a viable option. It's the board's job. Yeah, we call it out for what it is. If the manager ain't doing it, yeah, and I'm talking about him personally now, yeah, and his manager, because his manager's a disgrace to that football club. That once great football club is dead and buried within there. Yeah, and people can blame the Glazers and they can blame anyone else. They can blame Murto and they can blame anyone else at that football club. The players, this, the manager, whatever. The fact and reality is if enough of their fans stop waffling and listening to him chatting crap, yeah, and actually get a backbone, yeah, and start calling out that manager, trust me, they will find someone. Yeah, and they don't have to have anyone. Yeah, there's a million miles better than him. Just someone who's actually got pedigree. Unai Emery's doing all right. Look at his CV. He's miles better than Ten Hag. Yeah, go and have a look at Eddie Howe. Yeah, they lost at the weekend, whatever. Yeah, Eddie Howe's doing all right with Newcastle. He's got him in the Champions League, Newcastle. He got him to a cup final, Newcastle. Yeah, they lost it. Go and have a look at the Girona manager competing with the top 3 clubs in Spain, top of the league. Maybe get him. Yeah, there's loads of money, but it's not a fan's job to dictate and say, right, well, I think we should get him. It's the club's job to do that. Yeah, if they polled all the fans, yeah, based off of what he's saying, yeah, Ten Hag keeps his job. Well, cool. Because he's made them a laughing stock.
Lee, when fans say who are you going to get, it's basically the equivalent of saying, well, you're not, in a day, Arsene Wenger's managed more teams than you have. This guy's played a game, so I'll rather listen to them than you. It's basically someone who has got no confidence in their ability to debate a game that they claim to know a lot about, a game that they claim to love. They're just trying to shut down the argument. But it doesn't work with fans who know the game inside out. And I think when you go back to the Man United situation, well, the problem is I've said it once, and I'll say it 1,000 times in this podcast, any podcast they'll have me on. Not many at the moment, but anyway, we'll get to that later. The problem started when Sir Alex when Ronaldo left. Everyone knows that. Everyone can see it. They didn't move at the times, but this guy kept them competitive and kept them at the top of the English table. Saw off the challenge of Man City temporarily, and saw the challenge of Chelsea temporarily. But this isn't a man. He was bloody in his 70s, a pensioner. You can't, he's now 80. Who has come behind Fergie? What were you doing behind the scenes? Your youth team's a disgrace. Your team's crap. Your team gets beat. I heard that your youth team used to get beaten 9-0 by Man City's youth. Your training grounds are a joke. Your facilities are embarrassing at the training ground. Old Trafford, the Euro 2028. Old Trafford should be one of the first names in the team sheet in terms of holding stadiums. And they're going to the Etihad. The Etihad over Old Trafford. The people in football
they should all
know.
Be embarrassed and ashamed of themselves, mate. That's what they should be doing.
But what I don't understand, the people in this country, especially the young fans young fans, know who Man United is. Do you know who Man United is? Do you know what Old Trafford is? We're talking a beast of the club. I don't care what anyone says. You can talk your Real Madrid, your Barcelona. For me, this is the biggest club in the world. Not those clubs. I'm not going to disagree if you say they are, but for me, personally, Man United's the biggest club in the world. And their fans are standing for that. They're standing for this garbage. Because let me tell you something now, they've never learnt their lesson. They should have seen what happened in the 80s when Liverpool had their domination, when they were a mess, or when they got relegated in 74. They thought it will never happen again. But the reality is that Man United's greatness is down to 2 men and 2 men only. That's not enough. That's Sir Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson. Come on, you can't just rely on 2 men and that's your status. But it's remarkable that 2 men have made them the biggest club in the world. But the problem is, you're living off that. Who's the next manager? Who's the next great player to follow the great teams of Sir Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson? Where are they? All the Man United players are interested. They're in love with the idea of being Man United players. Something to tell their mates about, get their mums to watch them all over the country. But they're Man United players. They're thieves. I'm sorry, I don't give a damn on Arsenal, but I'm telling you now, you're thieves. Rashford is a thief. Fernandes is a thief. Fernandes is a thief. Maguire's the biggest thief of all. You're all thieves. The reason why I call you thieves is because you are taking a salary. You are basically wearing a shirt of the biggest club of the world. The fact that they've set standards that everyone 20 years ago tried to follow, and you're producing that crap. You're thieves. You're thieves. You're thieves. You're not football players. You're thieves. Pogba is the thief. He's a thief. Martial's a thief. You're all thieves. De Gea, going with his smug self. Now, mate, not struggling. You're the biggest thief of all. You're a thief as well. You're all thieves. I don't care.
Let me read this comment out real quick. Why would United want Girona manager? Because he's been in the job 2. He's been in the job 2 years. This is his 3rd full season, and he spent 16 million euros, and he's got on top of the league, mate. After getting them promoted, he got him promoted in his first season. He then got him 10th, and now he's top of the league, ahead of the 3 biggest clubs in the league. Yeah, and 2 of the biggest. In fact, 3 of the biggest. All 3 of them are 3 of the biggest clubs on the planet. Yeah, and he's got them top of the league with Tottenham's 3rd choice goalkeeper from a few seasons ago, Daley Blind at centre back. Yeah. Middlesbrough's ex-striker, 38-year-old Stuani, a couple of lonely kids from Man City. What are we doing here, mate? Yeah, plays sexy football. Yeah, which is the Man United way. So maybe he should have a go. Maybe see what he can do with a bit of dough, innit? I don't know, mate. But I don't care who they get. I'm happy for them to keep Ten Hag. The point is, Man United fans that have conned themselves into thinking that Ten Hag can spin it around. Yeah, where do they go from here? Because if they lose against Bayern Munich, and Harry Kane's apparently tweeted out or posted out, we will turn this around on Tuesday after they got walloped 5-0. Yeah, Harry Kane also said when he first got there, even if we win football matches at Bayern Munich, yeah, we still get criticised. Yeah, why? Because the standards ain't on the floor like Man United. Yeah, and let me tell you now, yeah, they're going to come out angry at Old Trafford. And if Bournemouth can whack 3 past Man United, that lot are whacking 6. Yeah, they can whack 5 or 6.
I
Because I'll tell you what,
think they'll take pity on them. And I think, you know what I think, guys? I think
they won't pity him. They won't pity him. They won't pity him, mate.
No, but yeah, finished. I think what I mean is that finished. I think they'll take pity on them, and then after the 4th goal, they're just going to start making substitutions and say this is too brittle. I mean, like, I think they'll win 4-1, and then, you know, like I said, just think, you know what, this is too easy. Let's save ourselves for the game Wednesday. I think they'll take pity on them by beating them only 4-1.
And then they got Liverpool after that.
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, and their coward captain, yeah, deliberately got himself booked at the weekend, so he misses that game. Coward. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, deliberately got himself booked at the weekend, so he misses that game through suspension. Absolute coward of a guy. Yeah, coward of a geezer. That football club's a disgrace. Yeah, but again, when you've got an ownership that couldn't care less and a fan base that are being finessed by some geezer on a fan channel, yeah, and ex-players in a studio, yeah, making out everything's great and he can turn it around, yeah, they're conning everyone, mate. So it's no coincidence when they're on the same page as the ownership, yeah, that's what you end up with.
Yeah, but Lee, let's not forget what that guy in the studio with the biggest. Let me tell you something now. Let's not forget that guy in the studio, who we said is finessing fans. Let's not remember where he got his idea from. Let's look close to home and where he got his idea to do that. We started. Let's not forget, someone close to home started that crap.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. Absolute facts. Big up to everybody inside. Before we do wrap this up, big up to everybody, man. This has been my 4th stream on the spin. But yeah, I'm on with Henry later as well at 6 p.m. Another club that is in the gutter. Yeah, their fan channel. Yeah, that win was coming. Yeah, on their fan reaction, instant reaction. The 2 brothers standing there smiling like the cats that got the cream. Mate, you went from 5th to 5th. First win in 6 weeks. What are you smiling at? Yeah, you're out the League Cup. What are you smiling at? 16 years with no trophy. Why are you smiling? Yeah, what is wrong with these people? Henry Wright in my chat, whilst he was doing a watch along and I'm doing a watch along on my other channel, he comes in my chat. What a great performance when they're 3-0 up. Yeah, well done. You've gone from 5th to 5th, mate. Yeah, what is wrong with football in this country? Honestly, mate. Big up to everybody inside. Jez, we do have a game tomorrow. We have qualified out the group. Apparently, Saka and Martinelli are injured and ain't travelled. So I'm not sure whether they are injured or whether because we're through that he just rested them and said stay at home. But give us your thoughts while I go and grab a cerveza on how you see the game going tomorrow and what you expect, mate.
Well, I think tomorrow it's going to be a turn up. I don't think they're injured. I think it's just the fact that we've got a big game coming up at the weekend. Personally, we've qualified. What's the point of risking players at this point? We need a big performance next weekend. So I'm not bothered if we lose it. Be honest, we've qualified. So get a draw out of it is good enough. That's fine for me. But a win is obviously even better. But I don't see it. I think it's going to be a bit of a lackluster display. I don't think they're going to pick themselves up after the shit show we had against Villa. We've got a big task at the weekend. So rest the players up, Lee, at the end of the day, because we've got bigger fish. Oh, no. We've got bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Arsenal Twitter account straight after the game. A tough night in Birmingham. Yeah, right. Why you and this is how they subconsciously and coerced people. Yeah, you know what do I say on here every single time I'm on a live show? You know when they've been in the dressing room for an hour before kickoff, yeah, and they're having their final team talk with the manager and psyching themselves up for the game, and then they all do it now. All these clubs, they all go out before kickoff and get in a team huddle. Yeah, it's almost like it's a new narrative sent down by the Premier League to do it or something. Yeah, right? They all do the team huddle, and I say it all the time. That is so even if we lose a game, they can post that graphic out, that picture out, and say, a tough night in Birmingham, but it looks like, oh, we're all together and united, lads.
William Gallas. It's a William Gallas, like I said, effect in it, because when William, when he was our captain with a young team, and they used to photograph him telling the players to play their football. But tomorrow, look, I hate, what, I'm sure fans are going to call it a free hit. The sad thing about that is,
so we're through anyway.
The sad thing about that game is that, one, there's nothing on it, and players, I think that, I'll watch it because it's Arsenal. I'm going to enjoy it because it's Arsenal, and I'm going to watch everything as much as I can. But the fact is that you're right, Jez, you're right, Lee. Brighton's more important. We've already qualified. He's definitely going to play Reece James. That's a free hit. He's probably play Trossard. Eddie's going to be up top. Midfielders he's not going to play Odegaard, but he'll play probably play Kai Havertz, Smith Rowe, because I know he's back in. No, Smith Rowe's he's back in training, so I don't think Smith Rowe will be able to play. But it'll be a mixture of experience. I know that Saliba might play. So Gabriel might get a rest. So we're definitely going to see Kivy on the left-hand side, and the right-hand side we're probably going to see Cedric. You know what I mean? So, and in goal, I think he'll retain Raya. I know the Friends of Aaron Society would like Aaron to get a chance, but football's a bastard world. I don't see many gifts being given to footballers. So I'm sure
that was done, mate. After what? I'm sorry, I think he'll be gone in January after what his dad did and all that.
Yeah, there's rumours that there's a possible loan to Newcastle, because
after smiling when we were three goals, the third goal winning against Luton, he was.
I think that's a stitch up. I don't think that's a stitch up. That's a stitch up. Of
course, it's a stitch up. Yeah, the cameraman knew what he was doing.
Yeah, but I think it was the photograph was probably taken minutes after the incident, but you put it in context. The fact is, Aaron's done out of here, and it's nothing to do with what happened with the podcast for weeks ago. I think that Arteta has ostracised him, and he's put everything into making sure David Raya is comfortable in his position as a captain. I could even be more perverse and say it's actually has happened, and it's factually what he's doing. He is easing him out of the club. But, I don't want to sort of say it out loud, because, it's going to be impertinent. It's going to offend people. But I can tell you now, Mikel knows exactly what he's doing. Mikel couldn't give a rat's ass whether Aaron Ramsdale was here next season or not. He couldn't care less. He's made his decision. He's actually done it in a very, very horrible, cruel and inhumane personal way. I think.
But that's football, Kenny. It's ruthless, isn't it?
That is football. But I think he's gone beyond I think he's gone above the footballing mentality there. He's really been. I'm not going to use that word because kids are watching, or there has been a few industrial terms. But Mikel's been a right one to that Aaron Ramsdale. It's been cruel, and it's been out of order how he's treated him. Although I agree with the decision, I don't agree with how he's done it. He's bang out of order what he's doing in how he's doing it.
It's disrespectful, I think.
If you want, but don't do it like that. That is taking the absolute liberties. He's taking liberties.
I mean, what are we on our 7th goalkeeper now, aren't we? Is it 7?
6 goalkeepers.
Six.
Six goalkeepers, and we've only signed one striker in the whole time he's been here. Yeah. And that striker ain't even a striker.
Lee, I don't think we're going to get a striker. Yeah.
Reverse mentality, mate. That's what it's all about. Yeah. It's the old Graham theory, build from the back. That's what it's. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ, seriously.
Well, you know what's happened, Jez? In January, you're not going to get a striker. No. We're going to get another goalkeeper, and we're definitely getting a midfielder. I'm hearing stories about Palinha before it's Luis Palinha. Well, you know what I mean? So that'd be our priority. I can't guarantee it, but I'll be stunned if we're looking at a striker in January.
I don't think I don't think we'll be getting in the battle for Ivan Toney until the summer. Personally,
I think so as well.
I think, as you're right, I think it'd be a midfielder, goalkeeper. And that just shows the direction we are going. The fact is we don't seem to have let me rephrase that. I don't think the management seem to have the same mindful as the likes of us and a lot of people in the chat tonight. Is the fact is we need a striker. We haven't got an out-and-out striker. Jesus is not. He admits it himself. If he admits it, Arteta, then surely you must listen to what he's telling you. Nketiah, I'm sorry, you're just rubbish. That hat trick covered over a crack for a few weeks, but you're not good enough, fella. Move on. Go and find a job somewhere else because you're just not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. Sorry.
Yeah, facts. Absolute facts. We are going to wrap this up, people. I'm going to go and have a couple of hours chill, and then I'm on with Henry Wright. We're going to redirect to Lewis, Carefree Lewis. Bloody
hell, I do not want to be in a room with him after those last two games, mate. He's one person I want to avoid. I can imagine him and Gooney. I can imagine him and Gooney being absolutely livid with what they're watching.
Mate, I'm not sure whose house I should go to for Christmas dinner because, whether it's the Man United creators or the Chelsea, maybe I could do Christmas Day at one and Boxing Day at the other because they're not feasting off of their clubs right now, mate. Because their clubs are a disgrace. Their clubs are a disgrace, both of them.
Hey, Boris Johnson and the Tories, they absolutely done a number in Chelsea. And just think, there's a few Chelsea fans who vote Tory. Bloody hell.
Jez, what you got coming up, mate? Appreciate your time. Big up to everyone in the chat. Smash the likes up. Sub to Jez's channel. It's pinned comment, Arsenal history and more.
I'm going to be watching the football tomorrow night. Then, obviously, fan cam player ratings. Wednesday, I'm on my annual piss up in London, which is... So, Kenny, if you're around Thursday, we do it for our weekly chat.
Definitely, yeah.
Thursday.
I'll definitely get back. If we could do it a bit early in the afternoon, probably something like that'd be fantastic. But in terms of
that's cool, man. That's cool. And I'm just going to say, I'm only 51 away from 4,500 subs.
Come on,
someone help him, Matt.
Subs.
Come on, guys.
Comment. His channel link's there. Go and sub right now, people. Kenny, your link's in the pinned as well for your Instagram. Make sure you follow Kenny 1972. What you got coming up, mate?
What I'm going to do is that I'm going to be this week, obviously, just I'm going to watch the game tomorrow because it's Arsenal, and I'm probably going to watch the events at 8:15, 8 o'clock at Old Trafford, and then I'll be watching football. But this week I'm going to go to the Arsenal game against Brighton. I believe Friday night football. Henry Wright is probably going to be getting the train from King's Cross to go to Nottingham to watch the 8 o'clock game against Nottingham Forest. I am looking forward to that because I think that game's going to be a cracker. As a neutral, I'm going to look forward to it. Forest, please get your form back intact. Make the City Ground a fortress. Sing the Paul McCartney song. Get in their faces. Intimidate Tottenham. Please beat Spurs. I'll be looking forward to that. I love watching football. Obviously, Arsenal's my love. And obviously, I love my boxing. But when football's on, that's when I get my head down and watch it. The kids are old enough not to need me. So please don't accuse me of being a neglectful father because they've got their own lives now.
Big up. Make sure you follow both the guys, people. We're going to redirect to Lewis. His title of his video is "Why is Pochettino still at Chelsea? Excuses, excuses, excuses." Mid-table mentality. So we're going to go and redirect you to Lewis. I'll be back with Henry, and then I'm going to do a watch along on Lee Reacts. I did a show on there earlier about Pochettino and how he's giving it about we're a mid-table team now and all of that. Shocking. His actual words were. That's what I said. So go and check that stream out.
I'm sorry.
It is. I'm doing a watch along on there later for Granada versus Bilbao. The game got postponed yesterday because a fan had a heart attack and died sadly in the ground. So they called the game off after about 17 minutes. Bilbao were 1-0 up in that game. But yeah, I'm going to do a watch along for that 8 p.m. UK time on there. So I'm going to chill for an hour and 50, do a live with Henry, and then straight after I'll be on the Lee Reacts channel. Big up to everyone who got me to 22k on there as well. Over 2 million views totality now on there as well. So I'm mad. But apparently I only profit off of negativity on an Arsenal channel. Good one. Go and spam Lewis's chat. Lee Gunner Raid or Lee Raid, whatever you want to do. And we're out of here. Big up to Jez, big up to Kenny, big up to the chat, big up to everyone who subbed, like, donated, commented, and all of that. And we're out. Laters. I'll tear her out.